we were pissing neon green every day.
That big ball of heat in the sky was too much. I thought there was a bear.
Reality goes, yeah, fresco. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, everybody. What's up, everybody?
Welcome
Welcome to
to
Story time.
Story time.
Story Time.
All right, hey guys, welcome to Story Time. I'm John.
Welcome to Story Time. I'm Max.
What's up? What's going on, man?
We're here. We're having a great day. I can start to feel my face again. We're living the dream.
What does that mean?
I was at the dentist earlier.
Oh, that's right.
I had some cavities filled, but we're looking shiny.
Yeah, you requested the cocaine, right? Yeah.
Exclusively.
That's what I thought.
Exclusively. So, what are we doing here, John?
We're talking, hanging out. We're gonna give this a shot. We're gonna try something new. We talked it over. I had an idea, and
Fleshed
we
it
agreed it's a
out.
pretty good idea.
But what is Story Time?
What I envision Story Time being is just friends hanging out, meeting new people. If you have a story about tour, vacation, traveling of any kind, maybe you went somewhere and something crazy happened, or something funny, or something sad. That's what this is. We want to know what happened in your life that was a big deal, and maybe make light of things or whatever. See where it takes us.
It's like a behind-the-scenes look, especially with touring kind of stuff, because a lot of people have this fabricated idea of what a tour is, which is just the show, and then whatever created content, like, oh, if I'm on tour, I'm going to post me at this restaurant and not me sitting in the back of a car for 13 hours,
Yeah, man. I mean,
and just the trials and tribulations
I will be honest, though. I do have some stories of sitting in the back of a van.
Well, at a certain point, sitting in the back of the van, you have to do something to entertain yourself.
Yes.
But who are we? Who are you?
Well, I'm John. I am a retired touring musician. I did it for 7-8 years, maybe a little more, give or take. I played drums in the traditional. I currently play drums in Genesee Hotel. Who are you?
My name is Max. I'm a stand-up.
Oh, yeah?
That's it. No, I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been doing comedy since about October. I used to live in Spain. I was there for about 3 years, and while over there, I was traveling. I've been to about 14 countries around the world. So I've had my fair share of nonsensical things happen.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Here's one. Here we go.
Here's a starting point.
Tell me a story.
Tell me a story. Well, I was back before the pre-pandemic. I was in Berlin, Germany, and I met these two Australian boys at the hostel I was staying at.
Australian boys, just Australian boys.
They came from the land down under.
Oh shit!
Dun, 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 dun.
Boo.
That's their favorite song. Every bar we went to, they requested it. But no, I met these Australian boys, and it was kind of like one of those fast friend situations. We just got on real quick. And while we were in the hostel one day, we were talking to these girls, and we kind of convinced them that we were in a band together, and we were friends for much longer than 2 days.
Okay.
And so the one kid, Lachlan, started the lie, and he was saying that we all live in London, and we currently are in a band, and we are practicing for our live shows that are coming up. And the girl happened to be a music photographer. And so she was like, where are you guys playing? And we said, we're playing a show in... My mic is falling. We're playing a show in Amsterdam. We're playing a show in London. And so we took her phone and we marked 2 venues that we knew in both of those cities. And told them, we were like, yeah, just hit us up before the show. We'll put you on the list so you can come in. And then the lie just kind of kept going. But the thing was, everyone kept believing us, so we had to keep it going. And so we were just getting more and deeper into it. And I played the guitar, or Lachlan played the drums, and the other guy, Liam, played the bass, and he sang. And the girl was like, she said, what's your social media? And I said, well, as a band, we don't believe in social media, but as individuals, we do. So she still follows my personal social on everything. And she agreed. She was like, "That's a really cool concept," and I was like, "I really know it is." And
Wow, dude.
and she asked for any recordings that we had, and we said we got rid of our entire catalog because we were trying to finalize our new live sound before we start playing shows again. And she said, "Well, what's the band called?" And Lachlan, without missing a beat, just goes, "We're called the Farm Goats." And Liam and I were like, "Yeah, we're called the Farm Goats." Because we couldn't back out of that at that point to try to change the name, so we had to go with the Farm Goats. But we kind of could tell that they were starting to not really believe what we were saying anymore. They were like there were holes in the story, and they were questioning them, so we left. And then I left Berlin, I think the next day, and they went to Budapest, and then they came to visit me in Madrid, and we all got Farm Goats tattooed on us.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, it's on my leg.
Oh, you got to show that.
I have to take my pants off. I'll post a picture.
Okay, cool. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
send me a picture.
It says
I'll
Farm
put it in
Goats
there.
in iPhone Notes font. Because I just typed it out and went in. And I said, "Can you do this?" And they said, "Yeah." And it was $60. It was
Unbelievable,
good. It was
man.
good. Good old Australians.
Oh, that's a
Shout
good
out.
story, man.
Shout out Lachlan and Liam.
That's great.
Port Macquarie, Australia.
So,
You have a pizza tattoo. Does that have a story behind it?
I enjoy pizza.
You fucking fat ass.
Listen, we've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there. Let's see. I got any good stories here? I do. I got a good one. So my band, The Traditional, we were getting ready to leave for tour. We had just left for tour on a full U.S. tour with the band of Fortunate Fame. Shout out those guys.
Shout out 315.
Love those guys. So we borrowed a van from Buffalo supergroup Head North.
Shout out Head North. This is
Shout
just
out Head North.
it's a podcast of shout outs.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all we're gonna do.
But yeah, so we borrowed their van, and little did we know that it wasn't in the best shape.
It wasn't what's called a good van.
It definitely wasn't a great van.
Yeah.
So I like to drive. I like to be in control. If I'm not driving, I sleep because I fear for my life. Because I don't trust many people driving. But it's besides the point. So we are driving. I don't remember how many days into the tour. It was pretty early on. And I'm driving through the night. And we're going west. And it's very flat. So we're Midwest at this point.
Yeah.
And there's no lights. So all we have are the headlights.
Yeah.
Until we didn't.
Oh, they went out?
Oh, yeah.
Was that the red van?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the red van. So I'm driving, and it's probably like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, something around there. It's pitch black. It is pitch black. No cars, nothing. I'm driving, and the headlights just go out. And I'm like, what the hell was that? I pull over, and, Anthony's the only one awake with me because he'd stay up with me because we would just, if I need someone to talk to, if I was getting sleepy or whatever, we'd smoke cigarettes, drink energy drinks, and talk, and sing songs to whatever we were listening to.
Sure.
And the lights go out, and he's like, all right, dude, just pull over, give it a minute. So we give it a few minutes, and they turn back on. Okay, so I start driving again. Not even 3 minutes later, it turns off again. And I am not kidding when I say it is pitch black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah.
It was so dark. So
Good old Midwest.
I put the flashers on.
Yeah.
And that's how I drove for well over an hour.
It's light every so often.
Every 2
half
to
a
3
second.
seconds. So it was very reassuring that, when you're driving and you're not sure if you're on the road, you got that little glimpse of
You're like,
I'm in
all
between the
right.
lines. I'm good to go.
Okay.
So
Was there no one else around?
as far as like
Cars?
driving, no, dude, it's like no one's driving out in the desert at that time. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
sure.
Not at 1 o'clock in the morning. And
Yeah.
we were just trying to get ahead of the game. We were excited. It was the first week of tour. It was a 60-day tour. Yeah, so they shit the bed.
Both bands in the van, right?
Both bands, 9 guys, 1 van, pulling a trailer.
Just guys being dudes.
Boy, were we dudes.
The
Just a couple of dudes being guys.
AC didn't work too, right?
Did not work.
That's for later.
Yeah. So,
We have to survive the drive first.
dude, honestly, like it was the worst experience as far as like tour because we had never had like that bad of an issue. Like you get van troubles and that happens.
Yeah.
And you expect it at a certain
It's like
point.
car trouble, yeah.
But like while you're in the middle of driving, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, especially and that van was purchased used, correct? I think by Head North.
And I'm pretty sure it was purchased used by the person before them. Because
Yeah.
there's no way like that van had to be 100 years old.
Was, was it like a 15 passenger, 16 passenger?
15 passenger.
Yeah. So it was a big old rig.
Yeah, man, it was wild
What year was that?
that we did the tour.
Yeah.
We're coming up on. Oh, I'm not really sure.
Because I remember I did a tour. I did a weekender with Head North and Firestarter and Old Again. And we did also with Johnny Mays and Casey Bowles. But we went Albany, Rochester.
Shout out Casey Bowles.
Shout out Casey Bowles. Shout out Johnny Mays too. Water me down if you're out there.
Shout out Old Again.
It was just Albany, Rochester, Buffalo. So it was just a quick 3-day.
Little weekend.
But we were driving from Albany to Rochester, and it was kind of raining, and Ben Lieber was driving. I said, Ben, why aren't the
Shout out
lights
Ben.
on? Because, you got to put the lights on when it's raining. He just goes, they don't work.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
So we didn't drive at night. We only drove in the daytime. But luckily, we were doing the 4-hour, 1 hour.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter.
Well, so here's the thing, too. Is like they kind of gave us a warning.
Yeah.
Because they were like, hey,
Yeah.
the regular headlights don't work. But
You got to
if
use the high beams.
Yeah, but they were like, you can't like, you know when you turn them on, you like pull it and then it like kind of clicks on.
Yeah.
They didn't click on. You had they were like, here's a hair tie. It'll like tie it to the thing.
Yeah.
To the steering wheel or something like that. So you literally had to like, it was being held on the whole time.
Yeah. No.
It was not supposed to.
It wasn't just like a clicky.
Yeah. No. It was not.
You wanted it on.
Yeah. So, but it's the equivalent of just holding this thing on the whole time. But they figured out a contraption to make it stay on. So we got through that. Like I kept driving. We got to the nearest town, and then we just stopped. That was it.
Sure.
I may have even been like, guys, like
We have to stop.
it's one thing for me to drive in the dark. Like I have no problem with that. But if I can't see, now I'm uncomfortable and I'm exhausted.
And
this
you're
is only making it worse.
And you're responsible for the other people in the car.
So I may have even traded off with someone I don't remember. Nick may have taken over. Nick
just-
Berger. Shout out Nick Berger.
If you're keeping a
But
shout
yeah,
out clock, take a shot every time you hear a shout out.
Yeah, dude, we could do that. Yeah, so we do this tour, it doesn't stop us. We're like, all right, we just need to drive during the day.
Did you get-
at the ass crack of dawn, get up and drive. Get to where we need to go.
First light.
Let's go, right?
Was it summertime too? Or was it winter?
So it was fall. Mm-hmm. And when we got home, it was winter.
Yeah.
So there was snow.
So you're
in Buffalo.
progressively running out of light throughout the tour.
Exactly. Yes. So that's not helping.
Right.
So progressively throughout the tour, they start working, then they stop. They start working, then they stop. We took advantage of it when we could.
Right.
Other times they didn't turn on, and we
Right.
just had people that were letting us sleep on their floor. They'd be like, "Throw your hazards on. I'll throw mine on. Just follow me. You're good.
Yeah.
It's a few blocks. You'll be good."
Right.
So I forget where we are. We're on the way home. It's like towards the back end of the tour, and we are driving through Nashville, and the lights go out again. And we're like, all right, this is bull.
No way.
So we pull over in Nashville. It's 1:00 in the morning, maybe earlier, maybe a little later, not really sure. Lights will not turn on. We open where the lights turn on, and it's completely melted. The whole little, computer, it's gone. Completely melted through.
That's what you like to see.
Yeah, especially, it makes sense when you're holding something on that doesn't want to be on.
Yeah.
So, real quick, let's rewind it a little bit. So we're driving through, right before that, we're driving through Oklahoma, and we get pulled over. Boots is driving the car, the van at this time. We get pulled over, and Sheriff comes up, hat, smoking a big cigar, and he's like,
Just real Oklahoma shit.
"What are you guys doing out here?" We're like, we're a band, we're on tour. He's like, "Okay, your high beams are on." And we're like, "Oh yeah, our headlights, we can't get them to work. Like, this is just temporary till we can get somewhere tomorrow to fix them." We didn't have money to fix it, so it was just, what we were doing.
Yeah.
Trying to talk our ways out. He goes, "Here," pushes them down and pulls the headlights. They turn on. They didn't turn on the entire tour. They turn on.
And this goober just presses two buttons.
He just pulls the thing and it turns on, and we all look at each other like, what the?
How did he do that?
This guy's magic.
Yeah.
And then, he asked for Ryan's ID, and he's talking to him, and he's like, "To be honest, I just pulled you over because I wanted to see what New York license looked like." He looks at it, he's like, "This expires in 2020, blown away that our licenses last so long or whatever."
Because he probably pulls people over in Oklahoma that don't even have licenses.
Exactly. Dude. So we leave. He's like, "Oh, you guys are all set. Take off." So we leave.
Right.
And as we, he's without, eye shot, lights turn off.
Of course.
As soon as we pulled away from him. And we got away with it. We just pulled the, high beams back on, whatever. So fast forward, the little computer chip melts completely.
Yeah.
And we stop in Nashville and we're like, all right, this is bull. We got to figure this out. Alex was the guitarist of A Fortune and Fame.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I have a little experience with this shit, like cars. Screw it. We're hardwiring the lights to the battery, so they stay on." And we're talking about it. We're like, that would work, but it's going to kill the battery.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have to turn them off. You have to unplug the battery.
Yeah.
And the battery is also, getting crushed.
Yeah.
That whole time you're driving.
It's hot.
So we're on the phone, on and off the phone with Brent, being like, "Hey, man, this is what's going on." And he's like, do what you need to do. I told them, all right, screw it. Because we can't afford to pay for this van, let alone when we get back, we can't afford to pay for a van that was borrowed.
Yeah, sorry.
More than what we had already done, because we actually, put a bunch of money into the van before we even left for the tour. It just happened to break down, the day before we left for tour, it broke down. Got it fixed. 2 days in, it broke down again. And then the light thing happened, and we couldn't get it fixed because we couldn't afford it. So we decide, okay, we're going to cancel the rest of the tour. We played that show. And we were like, all right, let's go to Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So we're driving. We didn't make it there before the nighttime hit. So we had to cancel.
Right, because you couldn't keep going.
So what we would end up doing is we would just sleep in, Walmart parking lots. And we'd have to, time it with the sunset. And that was extremely difficult because I'm an idiot. I don't know when that shit sets. No one else does. We weren't looking it up. So, when it started to go down and it started to get dark, then we'd find one and we'd crash for the night and sleep in the van. We ended the rest of the tour. We drove home. It was, it sucked to end it that way, but also we were gone for so long that it was just we were all
ready,
battered and beaten and sick of sleeping in the van and defeated because we put so much work into this and it was
the lights just didn't work.
Yeah, man.
And
from day 2 that shit started.
And now the irony is you're an electrician. You have a weird history being an electrician with electricity things just being odd around you.
I mean, yeah.
For
sure.
Because there's the van lights, and then also there's that fan that you installed in my parents' house. That the fan spins and the light turns on, and then every so often the light just turns off without you touching it.
All right. To be fair, he's not explaining this enough.
It flickers as if The Exorcist is happening.
He's not explaining this well enough because he was in Spain. So he hits me up. He says, "Hey, my parents need some electrical work." I said, I can help them out. Whatever.
Yeah.
I go over. They have a fan. They already picked it out. This is where they want it. I put everything in. I run the electrical. Flip the switch. It works. Turn the light on. It turns on. And then slowly dims down and turns off.
And it comes back.
And then it comes back.
And then it goes up.
Slowly dims down and goes off. Then it comes back.
And then it just keeps doing that.
So I took this thing apart 3 times. One of the times his dad was in the room, and I'm like, listen, I've done everything I can. This fan is defective.
Yeah.
And I'm still 100% that thing is defective. I have come across other ones that do not have that issue.
The funny thing is we have 2 that do that because they bought a second one.
But they got the same exact one.
Exactly.
So I think they're defective.
I know. And that's just the funniest thing that my parents saw that one not work and bought a second one.
To be fair, they bought 2 right away. I only put 1 in.
Oh, it wasn't purchase. It was one purchase.
It was, they got them off the same truck.
Yeah. Well, either way, the fact that there's 2 fully installed fans with lights that they both do it. It's funny because they don't do it at the same time either. So you can just be standing in the hallway and their room will have light in it, and then the hallway will just go dark, and then that'll go dark, and then that'll come back on, that'll come back on.
Know, I've done so much research on it too, and there's just no explanation for it.
The other funny part was when I got back from Spain, my dad said, "Look at what your friend John did to our fan," because I didn't know anything about the story at that time, and he's just being a dick. But
he's being a dad. He's not being a dick. He's a very nice man.
He turned on the light and he just goes, "Watch," and then all of a sudden it turns off. And I was like, "Well, I can go text John about that." And he said, "No, John's already been here. He knows that it doesn't something's wrong with the fan."
It just does not work.
But I texted you. I said, "Hey, why did you break our fans or something?" and you were just like, "I'll come over right now. It's not me. It's the fans. I promise."
To be fair, initially you said that, and I was like, fuck is this kid talking about? A fan? I had no idea. It had been so long because you lived in Spain and deserted us all for like 8 years. But
3.
Yeah,
and a half.
That might as well be 8. But anyways, you're back. That's all that matters for now.
This is getting a little meta.
But yeah, man, it's
that was so funny.
We have fun.
It's so funny. Right? It's so funny that you've only been to my house when I wasn't there.
Dude, also hilarious
and
country. Very grateful. Very, very small little story. My wife and I bought our first house a couple years ago, and times is tough, my friends.
This is it. This is the entire house.
We live down here. This is our dinner table. No, you buy a house, we did a bunch of work to it, and then you're like, oh, furniture. So Max hits me up. He's like, hey, my parents want to know if you want a kitchen table. Hell yeah, I want a kitchen table.
You bet your bippy I want a kitchen table.
So me and my wife, we go to that's the first time I met your parents. We go and I pick up the table with my dad because I couldn't fit it in my Jetta.
I feel like you actually sat down and thought like maybe the Jetta will work for this.
I've done many things with that Jetta as far as like transporting stuff.
Just not a full wood table.
Yes. That's bigger than
the car.
But yeah, so, we get it. I get it home. We clean it. I'm putting it together and I'm like, Jen, look at this. She's like, what? And there's gum all to the bottom. There's gum all over the place under this damn thing. And I'm like, damn it, Max. It's still there. It's still there, dude. Yeah, and then there's some writing and stuff and like girls' handwriting or whatever. But yeah, no, very grateful for the table. It's still up there. We still use it.
Nice.
That's just a funny story of like,
it's just so good.
Oh, there's gum all over the place under the damn thing.
Everywhere. The table's still upstairs, fully functional.
We only did one thing to like kind of make it our own, and that's
just take the gum off.
No, we left it. We let the dog chew it. Just kidding. The dog did not eat the gum.
We put our own.
He chewed the legs, and we're really happy about that when he was a puppy. But he doesn't do that anymore.
Ecstatic.
Yeah, super stoked about it. But such is life.
He's a puppy. Puppies.
He's such a puppy, dude.
All right. I think that's it. I think.
Hey,
how do you want to end it?
I think if anybody has any ideas, if you've stuck with us this long, we thank you. Things are going to be changing as we go, just because we're new to this. We're trying to figure stuff out. We want to make this as good as possible, as fun as possible. We want to have guests. We plan on having guests. We may have another person in the future. We're gonna do this as good, the best we can. If you have any pointers, any ideas, any suggestions, let us know. We welcome them, and tell your friends.
Make sure to like, subscribe, download, do everything wherever podcasts are available. This has been Storytime. I've been Max.
I'm John. We'll see you next time.
Have a good day.